Wowdy dow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Was not expecting him.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rushy to get a good shot. So I just thought, I'm just going to wait. Eventually one's going to pop out.
Yeah.
And then it did. It took a step toward me. It came down off a higher, I think they were like on the stone wall. And it came down. And then when it came down, I had a clear shot.
Wow. Wow. The second Saturday, Dad's first bird. We used the decoy that Mom got at a estate sale. Dad was sitting at that tree. I was on the back side of the tree. Two gobblers came in. For the second time through the hole in the stone wall this morning. Let's see. There's the hole in the stone wall. That's where it ended up.
Rutherford.
Nailed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can get her Happy May.
Hey, happy May.
Yeah, happy May, that's right.
What do you think about that, Mom? So she wants to know, I said, if Charles Harold's here, she said, the turkey shooter?
Yeah.
Then I said, yes. And she said, are you going to put a turkey feather in your hat?
Mm.
She wondered. I told her this morning in bed, she said,
turkey feathers.
she said, were you saving feathers? That's what she wanted to know.
Hmm.
What else did you want to know about the turkey, Mom?
Saved the beard and the spur.
You know what that is? The spur.
Back of the heel.
Yep.
And the strange thing is it only had one spur. There's like a scab or a rotted off place where the other spur was. So strange.
Oh.
So did you already clean the turkey?
Yes, we did.
What does that involve? She was asking.
The breasts, and then I get the two legs as well. That can be stew meat or something.
Cousin Don, I told Don and Joan that you weren't coming over because you were successful hunting this morning. And I said, by the way, has Don ever pressure cooked the legs? And he said, no, what he does is he grinds up the legs and makes tacos out of them. He said, you could also, I said something else you could also do, but He said, I've also heard of people making sausage with the dark meat. So I told Mom that I got a picture of the two of you in front of the cabin, in front of the chimney at the tree cabin out back with the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I got a later picture and I said, oh, I think he shot it in the tree farm.
Sure did.
So Charlie
Well, we got back from our little walk to the cabin and thought, well, we both had to use the outhouse. We started to, we have a project to do inventory on those 2x4 pieces out there for the deck. So we uncovered them, we started, and we're standing at the deck talking about construction techniques, and we hear this gobble off in the sanctuary.
You're kidding me.
So Colin says,
Like
"Run up."
straight east from the cabin?
No,
Or
no, like northeast,
Through the
Far
red
away.
pine forest, but far away.
far away.
far away?
Way up in the
Up in
sanctuary.
Woodburn, up on Woodruff Hill.
But so he headed off to do calling, and I headed up into the red pine forest and sat slightly below, but across from the upper opening of the stone wall. And then Colin was just behind me by a mile,
Yeah.
calling, and it took a while for them to move. They kept gobbling, but they didn't seem to move. And then all of a sudden they started to move, and they were coming right at me. I got
No.
louder and louder and louder, and they were right above me, like above that upper opening. And Colin was afraid that they'd go up, around, across, and completely bypass me, so he stopped calling. And if I'd known, not if I'd known that, but if I'd known what to do at that point, and I didn't, I might have done a little chirp, because they ended up walking all the way down right along the stone wall on the other side. I saw a glimpse of both of them, and they just kept heading south. And I thought, holy crap, now what? And but I grabbed my stuff and I went from tree to tree down to the stone wall, because they're still gobbling all the way, and they're going south and south right along the stone wall. And I'm crouching behind the stone wall, and I can see a turkey down at the opening in the stone wall. It's, and it comes out and it's looking around, because that's where the hen is supposed to be, but it wasn't anywhere. And it just turned around and walked back into the sanctuary. It was way too far for me to shoot there. I could see it, but it was way too far
Yeah.
for me to shoot.
The shotgun.
So walk back in. So Colin comes down from his, and we plot out. They're walking away, but they're still gobbling, and so I ran down the field and sat under the big spruce tree there. Colin gets the decoy and he puts it in front of me to my right.
The decoy. How much did you spend on it?
Couple $2-3.
Well, so it's already come into the field.
Yeah.
He said, nobody's here.
There's no hen here.
And now we're gonna call him in again, and he's gonna say, yeah, right. So he puts decoy over there. He sits on the backside, like this is happening in minutes, because they're still they're gone.
Milling about in there.
And so he sat behind me,
Facing
at
the
same
highway.
tree,
I wasn't even looking.
and he just started calling, and these birds came right over to me. And I could see them, but they were on top of the wall, behind all that brush and everything, because I'm low, and grass is getting high. But anyway, and I see them up there, and I see one disappears. He goes north, and then the other one is there. He's too covered to shoot. And the next thing I know, the one that he pops out, and he's up high, maybe on the stone wall. I can't really tell. And then the next thing I see is the second one joins him. And they're both all the time looking out into the field at this hen.
The
They're
decoy.
looking the whole time. I am frozen. And
She is a nice looking decoy.
Yeah, she hasn't moved a muscle, but she's got some nice body to her.
yeah, I just have to wait for one of them
She's a peg
to
leg
come
though.
down
She only had one
into the
leg.
field, you know, to step forward.
Was it a very natural leg? What
Yeah,
kind of
it was
leg did she have?
A maple
A
leg.
turkey leg. Yeah. And then finally, the far left one, kind of the lead one, did, and it's periscoping, and I just shot at the head, and he went down. And then the other one just kind of stood around and said, "What's going on here?" So it could have been a double, like
Yeah,
Colin and Tom's. Could have been a double.
like Dad said,
Two gobblers came in.
I faced the other way, and after he shot, he said the other one's still standing there. So I spun around the tree and looked across Dad's lap basically, and saw the other turkey's head. Like if I had a gun, I could have spun around and shot over Dad's lap, but I could have shot the other turkey. We could have had both.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been tight, but it could have worked for sure.
Here, take my gun.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What happened to that thing?
Yeah.
So, how many yards was it then?
We didn't really
However,
pace it.
from that spruce tree to the wall.
Yeah. We
to
didn't
this
pace
side of
it.
the wall.
Probably 25, I would have to guess.
And so the decoy was between Dad and the spring? Or
Almost.
Kind of.
Okay.
I didn't want.
It was a little ahead of that.
Yeah, it was in front of Dad, but I didn't want the decoy to be in line with having Dad in the background of where they would emerge.
Right.
I want them to be staring at the decoy, like,
And not the other
Yeah.
shape.
yeah.
And that tree is a little bit up from the opening. So
Yes.
so the decoy was down on that axis, and I was
Okay.
under the
Because
tree.
that tree is where Rudolph just hung out for me.
Well,
And then he laid down and took a little nappy poo in the rain during.
We have a part B to our adventure
Yeah.
today.
when I was following him through the red pine forest to go meet up with him at the stone wall, almost at the outhouse, I walked towards the outhouse, and at that piece of plywood, there was a fawn curled up
Against the plywood.
against the plywood. I almost stepped on it,
Absolutely motionless as
On
they
the
are.
blind. The plywood blind.
but on the field side.
Where you're making my faux fence.
Yeah,
There's a.
It was laying
I have a photo of it.
Mhm.
I almost stepped on it. But we both used the outhouse moments before.
Yeah.
Like that fawn has had an experience in its first couple days. Fawn said,
Like
"Holy!"
the little fawn we saw in the woods yesterday. It was
Not even standing. This one
yeah,
was.
it was just laying there. So
Oh,
it looks
my
very
gosh.
young, very young.
And then after we're cleaning the turkey, probably we're cleaning it out. I saw a deer walking up the road.
Looked down the road and there's a deer on the road.
So
looking up
it's
at
like,
us.
well, that's probably mother thinking,
Yeah.
"Uh-oh."
And then she saw the truck and she said, "Oh crap."
She said it was a good hiding spot, but no.
I put the baby there, and then they just parked the vehicle there.
Yeah. So that was cool.
And where did she? When she saw the
Just
truck,
in the
she-
hickory forest, but
She ran over to the forest.
yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Now, what time was this?
8 o'clock.
He shot at
All
8.
of this unfolded before 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea what time it was.
Mm-hmm.
We finished our little walk and, we're starting playing around at the deck and it was like 6:30, but oh my gosh. So,
It is well, and we were even late. Like
yeah.
on the ride up, we got behind a water truck, but the sky was getting so bright by the time we were in Duncan. I was like, oh well, we're not going to hear him on the roost, but we didn't need to.
So you parked, and then you were talking about the lumber and taking.
Oh, parked, but then walked around and
then
called.
we walk back and then walk up. To
And
the
then
camp.
that's when you heard them way up on Woodruffville.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It took a long time for them to move, and then they moved. And then when I saw them in the distance, I thought, oh my God, they're not coming out here. They're going down.
So the ones in the sanctuary, how many do you think you saw? Just two of them?
There were two. Yeah, I saw two. Two came out. Two left. Two came back.
Jumped up
they
on
were
the
going
wall
together.
and down.
But now there's one lucky bachelor.
Yep.
One lucky bachelor looking, saying, where did she go? She was statuesque.
Yeah, that's true.
She was
The one that
gorgeous.
got away. The one that
She
killed
was
my
tall,
friend.
And my friend died. And she's gone. Like vanished. So now, back up to when you went up to the Red Pine Forest to sit in the poison ivy. Was there tons of it there? Poison ivy? Good.
I was, no.
And where did you call from in the beginning? Where were you sitting?
I was at the cabin when we heard it, but I didn't want to walk up with him in case they just like beelined it for us. So I went down into the tree farm
Oh.
and did a big loop into the hickory forest, but like
Oh.
I walked through the hole in the stone wall
Okay.
where Dad's camera usually is. I'd made a huge loop around so I could approach it from up the
Oh.
road. I didn't want them to see me at all.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So then he knew they were on a beeline down. So that's when he stopped and you said if you were well versed, you would have chirped at that point, and that would have what, stopped them?
No, that
No,
No.
it,
would have enticed them to his
I
location.
was
then.
hoping it would, yeah, it would invite them to come through the opening, the upper opening of the stone wall, so they'd be on, so I could see them.
Yeah.
Because I knew they were, I mean, they gobbled once and they were right on the other side of the stone wall. I mean, I know it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they had already gone past the opening. And that was kind of like, oh no. now
Oh, no,
what?
they're past me.
Because they are right on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
And they're not coming over here because
No.
they missed their chance.
Yeah, they missed the...
Now what? And they just kept walking, and then I saw them go, this. I'm looking through all these trees, and I have this one little, window to see in the sanctuary, and they both walked right through it.
So they went past Dinosaur Rock, and they kept going down.
I just
Yeah.
walked on the other side of the stone wall.
Velociraptors.
That's where my 9 point was walking.
Mm-hmm.
And, you just hope they come over the hill, over the
Mm-hmm.
the wall, because they might stay over there. Oh my gosh.
No, that's the second time they've come through that. I mean, like they ignored the opening in the upper, even though it would have put them
Right where.
on a trajectory
Yeah.
to the calls. But they worked their way down to the other openings. So we're figuring we just, no matter where we hear them, we play that opening. Which is a smart thing anyway, because if they do come down on our side of the stone wall, they're still going to come down to there,
Yeah, that's true.
assuming they come all the way down to the open field.
Yeah.
But
And especially a decoy to give them the visual confirmation that, yeah, there's a turkey out there.
yeah.
I'm so glad we had that decoy.
It worked.
And you didn't freeze?
Cold?
Did you get cold this
Oh
morning?
no, no, it
Good,
was,
good.
Yeah, it was perfect
One
weather.
time you
No,
sat
I
out
was-
by the lumber shed and you froze.
I mean, when they were just on the other, yeah, when I'm kind of overdressed actually, but no, when they're just on the other side of the wall, and I know it,
yeah,
the
and
adrenaline doesn't let me
Adrenaline,
freeze.
yeah. and then the gun worked nicely.
Did the job, that's
I
for
got a
sure.
turkey in the freezer, so
That's
Very good.
good. Good. What did you have on your head? Did you have makeup or?
no, I have
Mesh.
not a veil,
Mesh. Face
but
mask.
a mesh veil, and then I have my cap on top, which is kind of unnecessary, but
Yeah. If it was raining or something. I had my cowboy hat, that's all I needed.
yeah,
Hey,
it is lucky hat.
And everybody's talking about the Aurora Borealis. It's like solar
Wow.
storms.
Yeah.
Everybody was getting pictures of it, even in Montrose. And it looked real foggy, but they would take it and it would show more on their phones.
Wow.
So I asked my mom this morning about Aurora Borealis, and I said, "Have you ever seen it?" She goes, "Yes." She said, "What did you say about the Aurora Borealis?" She said it was like channels of ghostly green
Mm.
going up and down. She's a little tired now because she just did all of these exercises. She did
Wow.
a page and a half of exercises and listed in NPR. She had a huge breakfast. So I got these beautiful photos of you. Let's see. You posed this one, gorgeous,
Yeah.
and with your timer.
Yeah.
And then this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, did you want to tell them about the Aurora Borealis? You remember seeing, what did you say? It was like ghostly, like,
Just like ghostly, searchlight, slowly going up and down.
Mm.
and what color?
Yeah, it was yellow. It seemed golden to me.
Oh, yellow. Oh.
Well, it was. I couldn't see too well. It was very dark, but the light was.
Kind of greenish yellow, you said. Forget all the adjectives you used.
Mm.
So they had good success with getting turkey out there, huh? I think they were way up on Woodruff Hill when he heard them calling. So Charlie went to the Red Pine Forest. Remember you being up on Woodruff Hill one time in a snowstorm?
That's where I started to get lost.
Yep, they had Bootsy. Bootsy got loose and ran into the Woodburn and up that way. And it started snowing hard and they lost their sense of direction
Mm-hmm.
and really got lost.
I was alone.
Mm.
So then Lanny got the idea to go out on Baker Road and look for you. He really got to- and it was dusk and it was snowing. Anyway, I think that's where the turkeys came from. So, ready? Do your May poem, Mom.
Hooray, hooray! The 1st of May. Outdoor necking starts today.